What's going on? Welcome back to Fanatic Journey. So today I want to talk to you about Ethereum Classic, ticker is ETC. I want to go over some of the recent developments, what the data points are currently saying, and where I see things going in the short term. Before I get into any of that though, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. So when it comes down to Ethereum Classic and just cryptocurrency as a whole, a lot of people are rushing into it. Their appetite for risk is going up, especially based on what Powell recently said on how they might be cutting rates sooner rather than later. And ETC is a good hedge against inflation, but not so much with interest rates. So in theory, by interest rates going down, I think it's projected to be as early as March 2024, then ETC is just going to continue to run. So once again, that's going to add a lot more liquidity and everything else. So I'm going to go over some of the data points. Starting off with this, it is at $20.62, up 3.94% from the day prior, $211 million of volume so far, 14.86% up from the day prior. And ETC has been outperforming a lot of coins. So it did jump recently from, I think it was 28 to now 26. So once again, that's a fairly good thing. And obviously, I think it does have a lot more room to grow, probably back down to maybe the 22. I know for the longest time throughout 2022, it was sticking between the 20 to 24 range. So hopefully bigger and better things will be coming for ETC. And as I always do bring up, the number of merchants accepting it as a form of payment has and will continue to grow. Currently, it is at 1,210, up 6 just this month alone. Looking at the chart, as I brought up in the past, this is exactly what you want to look for in a good growth, whether it be equity, stock, or just a cryptocurrency. You want to see it growing, and that is apparent with ETC. And over the last little bit, I always like to look at who is selling and whatever else, whether it be shorts or longs. And in my opinion, I even feel at this stage over the last several days, ETC has been lagging Bitcoin, and that is just because of manipulation. ETC has always, I don't know why, but it's always been very heavily shorted. Maybe because of what happened, I guess, of the split between Ethereum and now Ethereum Classic. Maybe because of that, people just assume ETC is tainted. I'm not really sure, but ETC has always been very heavily shorted. And even looking right here on the December the 10th, there was $3.83 million in longs selling their positions for no reason whatsoever. So once again, as I've said in the past, ETC is developing and growing, and that's the key, what you want to take away from all of this. And even though there's some manipulation, I feel like bigger and better things are coming. But as of late, it does look like the longs have been selling out some of their positions and not so much shorts. But if there is a continuation of FOMO in the broader market, which I do feel is going to happen, you are going to see shorts closing out their positions, causing ETC to bump to higher highs. A couple of things I just wanted to kind of bring up. Obviously, Bitcoin. And like I mentioned, just FOMO. I think Bitcoin's really leading the rally with that, and especially with ETFs, just so many things are going to be coming down the pipeline, which will benefit crypto as a whole and also ETC. Keep that in mind, right? ETC will probably have its own ETF in probably early or late 2024. So that's a good thing. And I just wanted to play this quick video for you. It does talk on the Feds and what recently happened and how essentially people will be running into cryptocurrencies.
Today, Bitcoin and Ether get a small bounce as the Fed holds its final meeting of the year. The DOJ charges 2 men with running a multi-million-dollar crypto Ponzi scheme. And 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧 with Tools for Humanity discusses WorldCoin's new protocol update and the crypto project's privacy concerns. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗖𝗧. Major cryptocurrencies rising slightly after this week's sell-off. By noon Eastern, ahead of the Fed's final rate decision for 2023, Bitcoin rose nearly 1.4%, while Ether inched higher by about 2/3%. Meanwhile, Solana is moving lower this morning. It dipped by 0.8%. Let's talk about the top stories. RIAs, or registered investment advisors will probably be the main driver of Bitcoin ETF flows should one be approved in the US. But their clients are showing little to no interest in crypto investing broadly, according to 𝗖𝗎𝗓. The firm surveyed 12 financial advisors, 75 Coinbase users, and over 200 people to find out who preferred a spot ETF versus buying Bitcoin directly. The results showed that anyone who hasn't already bought Bitcoin some way, somehow, isn't likely to buy a Bitcoin ETF. Just 11% of that group said they're very likely or somewhat likely to buy a spot Bitcoin ETF. And of those who do own Bitcoin, 49% said they'd prefer buying crypto on a platform like Coinbase versus the 40% who said they'd prefer buying an ETF.
And I just wanted to add to that. I feel like that is wrong. And I think it might just be generational, but technically, a lot of people are seeing a lot of negative things in the news, such as even Binance, FTX. So a lot of people aren't really trusting those exchanges, or even Coinbase, for instance. And I feel like the broader population would actually prefer to have an ETF. And this is why whenever you do see any ETF updates, prices do skyrocket. So once again, I just wanted to bring this up. Obviously, it's a 12-minute video. I'm not going to play all of this, but I just wanted to bring this aspect up, along with just the fact that the Feds hold the interest rates and allude to them cutting it in the foreseeable future, and that's going to give a nice bump up to ETC and cryptocurrencies. But moving on to this, I'll go over some of the data points. I do have the 7, 25, and 100-day moving averages, Bollinger Band, stochastic RSI, and momentum. And my apologies, my voice is going, as I'm sure you can already tell. So I'm looking at the 1-day chart right now. It is higher percentile of the Bollinger Band above a lot of the key pivotal moving averages, with the exception of the 7-day. So that 7-day is at 21.15. So you'll really want to watch that in the short term to break above. And like I've already mentioned in the past, everything feeds into each other, right? So the 4 feeds into the 1 hour feeds into the 4. So I'm going to break all that down. Momentum shows number of actual buyers have been increasing over the last little bit. Stochastic RSI is ready for a nice breakout, which will really benefit ETC going higher. And I'll go over some of the fib levels as well, just to know where some strong support and resistance points are. So looking at the 4 hour, you can tell it does want to break out higher. It'll probably pull down at least maybe to around 2030 in the short term, only because stochastic RSI is very hot, so it needs to pull back down, consolidate, and try again. But the 4 hour is looking primed and ready to break out to potentially as high as maybe 23, and that'll obviously feed into the 1-day absolutely perfectly. And then moving on from that though, just to quickly talk on some of this. So with it at $20.56, it is between this S1 and the pivot. So I've brought this up in the past, very wide gaps between these fib levels. So that does mean that there's going to be a hell of a lot of volatility. I'm sure you already know that comes with the actual environment, but $20.04 is a very strong support that you'll really want to watch to hold. And then $21.58 is going to be the next strong resistance point. And I personally do feel that there's a lot of good FOMO that's going to be kicking in, causing it to go higher above this pivot point. And like I mentioned, potentially testing in the short term around 23. But if what institutions are saying is true about the broader market, FOMO kicking in, then easily it could go to around 25. Because keep in mind, there's been plenty of short squeezes with ETC in the past, just with obviously the price going up significantly higher. Shorts don't find it advantageous, so they close out their positions. So definitely that could be coming down the pipeline, several short squeezes all the way up to 25 or even higher than that. So let me know your thoughts on ETC in the comments below. But once again, my videos are for short-term kind of movements. So long-term, I still do believe that ETC is going to hit by 2030 around $500. That's just my own opinion, not a financial advisor. You guys always do your own due diligence. Let me know your thoughts on ETC. Give yourself a shout out. Have you been buying? Have you been selling? Or have you been buying other cryptocurrencies? What have you been doing? So don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And one final thing I just wanted to share with you. Take advantage of this promo only up until December 31st. Sign up for an account with Moo, throw $100 at it, and you get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So take advantage of that. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.